Professional tennis will expose every single weakness you have ever tried to hide, and it will do it in front of the entire world. There is no manager to call. There is no teammate to bail you out. There is no timeout when your mind starts collapsing under the weight of the moment. You are alone. Completely, brutally, terrifyingly alone. Just you, a graphite racket, and a court that has absolutely zero sympathy for your feelings. And tonight, Eala is stepping into the most important audit of her entire career. Do you think she is ready? Watch what happens next. Because what is about to unfold on this court inside the Miami Open is not just a tennis match. This is a psychological warfare operation. This is a corporate takeover battle. This is a fighter walking straight into the den of the exact opponent who has historically destroyed her, not once, but twice, in straight sets, without mercy, without hesitation, without even blinking. And somehow, someway, Eala is choosing to walk back in. The question is not whether she showed up. The question is, has she actually changed? Because showing up is the easy part. Every player shows up. Champions show up differently. Eala walks onto the court tonight ranked number 31 in the world. And let me be extremely clear about something that most people completely misunderstand. That ranking is not a gift. Nobody handed her that number on a silver platter. There was no shortcut, no favoritism, no lucky bracket. That number was ripped, extracted, and carved out by sheer force from the absolute elite of the Women's Tennis Association Tour. Every single ranking point she owns was taken from a real opponent who was fighting just as hard to take it from her. That is the economy of professional tennis, and it is absolutely ruthless. But here is where it gets deeply interesting. Because raw ranking numbers, as impressive as they look on paper, can lie. They tell you where a player stands globally. They do not tell you whether that player can beat the one specific opponent sitting directly across the net tonight. And that distinction? That gap between global ranking and head-to-head reality? That is where careers are defined or destroyed. To truly understand what Eala is walking into tonight, you have to understand what she walked out of in her previous match. Because what happened against Germany's Laura Siegemund was not just a tennis victory. It was the birth of an entirely new version of this player. Eala dropped a brutal, grinding, lung-burning first-set tiebreak. In the past, and I mean the recent past, that moment would have been catastrophic. The mental walls would have crumbled. The unforced errors would have flooded in like water through a cracked dam. The tactical game plan would have evaporated under the pressure of self-doubt and panic. But against Siegemund, something completely different happened. Something that should have every tennis analyst paying extremely close attention. Eala did not panic. She did not spiral. She sat with the pain of that tiebreak loss, processed it like cold data, recalibrated her entire baseline aggression in real time, and then systematically dismantled her opponent over the next two sets. Final score, 6-3, 6-3. Clinical, decisive, ruthless. Ask yourself, when did you last see a young player absorb that kind of early pressure and come out colder and sharper on the other side? And the specific metrics that emerged from that match are what make this story so fascinating. Fewer unforced errors in the second and third sets. Better breakpoint conversion when it mattered most. Stronger execution in the long, exhausting baseline rallies where composure separates the good from the elite. She is no longer just surviving professional tennis. She is beginning to master it. She is transforming, right in front of our eyes, from a talented young prospect into a cold, calculating apex predator who understands exactly when to wait, exactly when to strike, and exactly when to go for the throat. The fitness commentators highlighted her improved stamina and composure, and when they did that, they were not just talking about physical conditioning. They were describing a fundamental shift in her market value as a professional athlete. She proved she can sustain elite-level performance even when the opening chapter of a match ends in a deficit. She proved she knows how to stop the bleeding, restructure under pressure, and systematically bankrupt her opponent over 3 sets. And here is the brutal reality that no amount of impressive performances can erase. Laura Siegemund is not Magda Linette. And that difference? That is everything tonight. Is Eala's new version actually good enough to solve the Linette problem? Keep watching because this is where it gets complicated. Magda Linette is not just another opponent on the schedule. She is a highly specific, mathematically precise tactical nightmare for Eala. The head-to-head record between these two players is not just unfavorable, it is a psychological crime scene. Linette leads 2-1, and those first two victories? Both in straight sets. No tiebreaks. No drama. No close calls. Straight sets. Linette did not just beat Eala in those matches. She completely dismantled her operational framework. She controlled the spatial geometry of the court with terrifying precision. She manipulated tempo until Eala was playing Linette's game, on Linette's terms, at Linette's pace. And here is what makes Linette so uniquely dangerous. She does not overpower you. She is not going to blast winners past you at 120 miles per hour. Instead, she functions like a meticulous corporate auditor. She absorbs your power. She neutralizes your aggression. She forces you to keep hitting shot after shot into increasingly uncomfortable positions until the high-risk decisions start piling up and the unforced errors begin bleeding out. She turns your strengths into traps. And when Eala's ranking looks better on paper tonight, do not let that fool you for even 1 second. Does ranking actually matter when your opponent owns your head? Rankings evaporate the moment you step inside the lines against someone who has the exact blueprint to break your game. Eala is facing a structural crisis tonight that goes far beyond athletic competition. She has to prove, not to the media, not to her sponsors, not to the commentators, she has to prove to herself that she has completely re-engineered her game to solve the exact mathematical equation that Linette represents. This is not about hitting harder. This is not about running faster. This is high-level strategic chess. And playing the same game plan that failed twice before is not persistence, it is athletic insanity. So, what does the winning formula actually look like tonight? What are the 3 non-negotiable tactical mandates that Eala must execute with absolute clinical precision from the very first point? Because there is zero margin for error in this match. A slow start is completely unacceptable, and I cannot stress this enough. Against Siegmund, Eala fell behind and clawed back. That recovery was impressive. But Magda Linette is not Siegmund. Linette is too experienced, too disciplined, and too strategically clinical to ever surrender a lead once she has it. The moment Linette smells hesitation, the moment she detects even a fraction of self-doubt drifting across the net, she will lock down her errors, extend every rally into suffocating territory, and slowly strangle Eala's confidence until there is nothing left to work with. Eala must send a violent, unmistakable message from the opening coin toss. The player who lost those 2 previous matches? She does not exist anymore. That version has been retired. Second, and this is where matches against Linette are actually decided long before the scoreboard reflects it. The second serve is the most dangerous liability in Eala's game tonight. Linette is a specialist at attacking second serves. She will step aggressively inside the baseline, load up on the return, and drive heavy topspin deep into the corners before Eala even has time to set her feet for the rally. If Eala's first serve percentage drops, she will spend the entire match defending from 3 feet behind the baseline, trapped, reactive, and playing directly into Linette's game plan. To neutralize this, Eala does not need to hit aces on every point. She needs smart placement. Heavy, high-kicking serves that land in uncomfortable positions and prevent Linette from initiating her first strike offense. Because the second the first serve abandons her, the match is already half lost. Can she protect her serve well enough to stay on the front foot? That is the question nobody is asking loudly enough right now. And finally, the weapon that could change everything tonight if she actually uses it correctly, the left-handed geometry. Being a left-handed player on the WTA Tour is a massive structural advantage. It creates natural, deeply uncomfortable angles that right-handed opponents simply cannot adjust to the same way they prepare for each other. But having a lefty forehand means absolutely nothing if you refuse to weaponize it. Eala must aggressively step inside the baseline and drive heavy cross-court topspin forehands directly into Linette's backhand wing, relentlessly, repeatedly, with zero mercy. She has to drag Linette wide outside the doubles alley, force her off balance, force her on the run, and deny her the stable platform she needs to dictate. Eala cannot react tonight. She must dictate. She must own the baseline. She must be the one controlling tempo, controlling space, controlling the terms of every single exchange. She must be the CEO of this court, not the employee. Every hour of off-season conditioning, every film session, every bucket of balls hit in the blistering Miami sun, every ounce of psychological growth she has accumulated over the past 12 months. It all arrives at this exact moment, under these exact lights, against this exact opponent. The sports media is watching. The corporate sponsors are watching. The veteran establishment is watching. Everyone wants to know the same thing. Can Alex Eala turn progress into proof? Can she walk into the exact environment that broke her twice before and walk out transformed? Or will the ghosts of those previous straight-set losses quietly follow her onto the court and reclaim their territory? Tonight is not just a tennis match. Tonight is the answer to every question that has been building around this player for the past 2 years. And it starts right now. What do you think? Does she have what it takes to finally break the Linette curse? Let us know in the comments right now.